Well, good morning, everybody. It's another Sunday morning. It's Sunday, June 12th. And this morning I decided I'm going to show you some of the items I picked up from my second trip out to the gentleman who I bought that stuff on Craigslist from. Um, he had a few items there that I had considered maybe getting and wasn't sure if I wanted to bother with. And then when I came home and did a little bit of research on it to get some of the values and some of the items that I had no idea what they were worth, I decided that, what he was asking for them was a fair price. So I went back and picked up, it was mainly three items. Well, technically it was four items that I ended up going back for. And then I went through the other stuff one more time and put together another lot and bought another box full of small stuff. So let me get right to that.
Alright, so what I went back for was I went back for the items in these 5 wooden cases. And at the time when I first went out there and bought the Fowler dial caliper and those other items that I've already shown, we talked about these. I talked about how some of these items I actually don't have an immediate use for, but I was hoping maybe to have a use for it down the road. And at the time he wanted $50 for each one of these items. When I went back the following week, I guess because he hadn't gotten much interest from his Craigslist ad, although I think that was partly because he didn't list these items specifically, and he also didn't have any photographs that didn't really help his cause. But for whatever reason, I was able to cut a deal to get these 5 items for $150 for the whole lot. So let's dive into here and see what we got. So these first 2 items right here are, not really a pair because they're not identical. But you can see the brown and sharp. These are magnetic V blocks. So what we've got is we've got a V block that's designed to go on a surface grinder, and this is a model 750D, and there's even what's left of a little care and use of permanent magnet chuck and other permanent magnet holding tools, brown and sharp pamphlet in there, although it's pretty beat up from it being crushed over the years inside this thing. But I do not currently have a surface grinder, so at the moment this is of no real use to me. But at the price that I paid, I couldn't resist picking it up, because I figured either one or two things is going to happen. I'm either going to come into possession of a surface grinder at some point in the future and put this to good use, or I'll be able to turn around and flip this and sell it for a profit fairly easily, because it appears to be in really nice shape, and these do tend to run on the high side as far as when you want to buy them. Judging from the style of clasp that's on here, I think this might be the newer of the two. So here's the other one. The reason why I'm not calling them a pair is because this box is different. It's only got this style clasp here, which I think is older. It's also, instead of an apply, it's got this kind of a stenciling on it. There, or applied label. Looks a little bit different. But inside here we have, this is another 750D, so it's the same model number. So it's sort of a pair, but you can even see that this is a different labeling design on here. So I'm not sure which of the two of these is older, and I don't really care. They're both in excellent shape. So these here I gave $40 for, I believe, and these are, they're marked, somebody put a Sharpie on here, V blocks, 4x4x3. Okay, nice wooden case, and the way they fit in there so snug, I'm thinking the box is original, even though it doesn't have any company markings on it. And what's in here is this nice set of V-blocks, 2 hold downs, pile of screws. These blocks fit so snugly into this thing that pretty much you got to put a couple screws in to lift them out. But they're really great condition. These are Suburban Tool Company of Birmingham, Michigan. Tools to grow with, 240-2. And I'm wondering if the -2 indicates that it's a pair, because this is a 240-1. So this is more than likely a precision matched pair of V-blocks. Now he called these magnetic V-blocks, and you know, they got a nice flat machine surface here. I don't see why they couldn't be used on a magnetic chuck. But they also have, you know, these slots over here to use them with a more traditional hold down. So I've got quite a few V-blocks, but I don't have a pair this size that are a precision matched pair. And I actually, again, I wasn't really familiar with Suburban Tool, so I had to look them up online, and then I found out that they were actually a good quality product. Okay, so these last 2 items here are made by a company called Eclipse, which I had never heard of. So I was kind of wary as to whether or not I wanted to buy them, pay what he was asking for them. But after I got home and had a chance to do a little bit of research, I was able to find that this is a company that makes machinist tools out of England. I don't know if they're still in business, but I wasn't able to find a lot of examples of these having sold. But the ones that I did find actually commanded pretty decent money. So apparently they are a quality product. I'm a little bit upset with myself on this one here. I broke the box pretty badly. What ended up happening was I had all of this stuff in a cardboard box. Managed to get it all the way back here, get it all the way down into the shop. And then I went to pick it up off the shop floor. And the box collapsed, the side of the box gave out, and this tumbled out and hit the floor. And when it did, it jarred it, and because of the weight of the magnetic chuck that's in here, all right, because of the weight slamming so hard, it popped this little piece, which was just glued on with a very little bit of glue out, which is no big deal. But it completely broke, sheared off the bottom panel. Luckily, it didn't actually split it. It just kind of broke it free. So if I very carefully peel the remainder of this off and remove the brads that got pulled through, I should be able to get this back together and glue it together, and it'll be fine. But it's just a little bit of extra work that I wasn't planning on having to do for my stupidity. Or absent-mindedness, whatever you want to call it. Not remembering how much weight was in there. All right, so this is a little bit dirty magnetic chuck, and it's got some extra screws here that I just stuck to the side so I wouldn't lose them. It's got these little fences that can be adjusted, a little straight edge, like to bring up on this side and on this side. So if you got something you want to square up right to the chuck, you can. So this would go right down on your surface grinder, I guess. And this is called the Eclipse Minor Chuck. So I'm assuming that they've got a bigger one that they call the Major. And then the lever, you can rotate it if you want to just magnetize just the base, or just the top, or both. And this has got a serial number on it, but it looks like it just says type AX, and there might be a number there, I don't know. So once I fix the box up, that'll be a nice little magnetic chuck. So the last of this $150 lot is this another Eclipse product here, and the seller couldn't stop going on about how great this was, and how handy it was, and how he had used it on numerous occasions and really loved it. Last one of these that sold on eBay, I believe, brought $200. For some reason, it's got this nice wooden case. For some reason, somebody had removed the hinges and they were nowhere to be found. So, I'm not sure if they just had this in a location where it was difficult to open it like this, and they wanted to be able to just have the cover completely off it while they were using it. I don't know. But anyways, what's in here is this sweet little vise, and I'll get this out of here. It's a very interesting design. This is called the Toolmakers Vise Plus, according to the literature in here and what's left of it. This is saturated with years of oil, I guess. Very clean. There's some gunk on it right here, but that's not a blemish as far as damage to the surface. This is really, really nice and clean, devoid of any really bad marks. Again, there's some stuff on the bottom here that actually is stuff that the paper kind of like left behind. So, nice gentle cleaning, and I think that's going to come right off. We get over here, we've got the actual knob or control here. It's got a plus sign with an arrow going this way and a minus sign with an arrow going this way. But the really interesting thing about this is that instead of a knob, it comes with this little chuck key. Alright, so this is a Eclipse catalog number 927 magnetic vise. So this would be for use on a surface grinder. I guess you would stick this right down on your magnetic chuck on your surface grinder, I think. And then you would use this vise to hold a small piece. It's also got a V groove in there, so you could small round pieces could be held. Now, see if I can't figure out how to use this. This says it holds work magnetically for grinding 2 or 3 sides square at one setting without thrust screw, distortions completely eliminated. Okay, figured it out. It's just, it still has some residual magnetism when it's even in the off position, so it's a little tough to, but this slides right out, okay? And so, and actually, I don't even know if that's magnetism so much as just how just tight and precise this seems to sit in that groove. So if I grab myself something as an example to stick in there, just for the hell of it, I'll stick this piece in here. Yeah, no, there is residual magnetism there. Anyways, and you slide this jaw up to it, okay, and then we just turn this to the plus side, like so. Remove that, and now, well, okay. I mean, it's not supposed to be as strong as a vise that you would use for clamping something in the milling machine. It's just for grinding. Just curious how close I can get that before it sucks it in. I can't pull it apart with my hands, but when I had this in here, the prying effect, the leverage I was able to gain, I was able to do it. But it is strong. So anyways, that's what that's all about. Again, don't know whether or not I'm going to have a surface grinder in my future or not. I went out and looked at one tail end of last year, I think. I went out and looked at one was buried in a shop. It was a Brown and Sharp number 2, which is, I think, a Brown and Sharp number 2, yeah. Which is I guess they made a ton of those because I've seen those a lot. Completely manual machine, meaning the table travel is all done by hand. It was buried in a basement along with a lot of other equipment, and I was intrigued by it, but the guy really had no idea what to ask for it, so he was fishing for offers, and I just kind of looked at what was going to be involved in moving it out of that basement at the time, and was shuddering to think how bad it was going to be to move the thing, get it here, get it down my basement, find a place to put it, clean it up. And then the other thing too is the whole, it wasn't under power. And I guess the big thing with those is the bearings that, if they're in good shape, great. If they're not, you could be looking at, I guess, quite a big deal to get them running properly. Anywho, I think I still get that guy's number somewhere. I should give him a call and see if he's come to an idea on if he's still got it. I say them because there was another piece that intrigued me there. There was a tool grinder there that I had never seen before by a company I had never heard of, and did some research, and it turns out they didn't make a lot of them, but the ones that they did make apparently were really good machines. It would take up kind of a lot of floor space for something that I wouldn't be able to use very often, but it was just, those old machines intrigued me. All right, so that was $150, but I spent $200 that day, so I got a box full of stuff here that I got for $50. Let's go through that.